something different or a step up from a girl talk. We're going to talk about realistic things that we go through as mothers, as women. Is going to be more than just hygiene and how to shave, because it's more to being a woman than just hygiene and shaving and keeping up with personal care. Alright, y'all, it's Mia from Curly Girl Me back again. So I can't really say back again because this is something new that I'm starting, but it's Woman Talk Fridays. And I know you guys see a lot of your favorite influencers doing like girl talks, but this is like something different or a step up from a girl talk. We're going to talk about realistic things that we go through as mothers, as women. Is going to be more than just hygiene and how to shave, because it's more to being a woman than just hygiene and shaving and keeping up with personal care. So today's video is going to be goal setting, and I have like my notes here that we're going to go off of because we don't want this to be too long and bore the people, guys. All right, let's get into it. So like I said, today's video is going to be about, sorry y'all, I hate it. It's going to be about goal setting, and I'm just gonna like share some of my personal experience or like experience lately with goal setting, because I actually been like taking it seriously, and I normally don't, but since I have been taking it seriously, God has been showing up and showing out, so I gotta tell him, give him his glory. So the first thing about goal setting is figuring out what exactly your goals are and what exactly you're trying to set. Like when I say figure it out, I mean figure out what exactly you're trying to do with your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? What area are you trying to stay in? Like my goals were for my natural hair brand, so that's figuring it out. And it's just figuring out what exactly you're trying to do, what exactly is your market, who are you going toward, and making sure you have the right mindset behind things. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is write it out. So after this video, I'm going to show you guys my goal wall, and it's more than just like my natural hair goals. It's my family goals, life goals, stuff like that. But goals cannot manifest in your head, so you have to speak power into your goals, speak them out loud, because if you keep them in your head, who's gonna know about them but you? And a lot of times when you keep things in your head, you don't necessarily act on them like you should. So that is the first bullet point under write it out. So goals cannot manifest in your head. So the next bullet under write it out is put good energy into the air. So that means just speaking positive about these goals that you set, and that also ties into making realistic goals, because when you don't make realistic goals, it's easier for you to get disappointed. Like say for instance, in a week I wanted to take my follower count from 3,000 to 5,000. Like come on, in a week realistically that's a lot of work. And it's just like, let's set little goals in between, and then we'll get to the bigger goals. So then when you don't make the 5,000 follower count, you get super disappointed and you feel some type of way, and now you're speaking negatively on the goals that you have set, or whatever goal it may be. So you need to keep in mind to set realistic goals so that you can accomplish them in a short amount of time and keep the ball rolling, like so that you always have something to set and always have something to accomplish. And the next thing, and this also ties into the good energy and realistic goals, is there's power in the tongue. So you have to be careful what you speak about yourself, about your goals, about life in general, because power is in the tongue. You have power over everything that you put out into the atmosphere. And if you're putting out negative energy about what you are trying to accomplish, then you will not accomplish it, because yet the devil is waiting for that. He's waiting for you guys to be negative so that he can make his move on what exactly it is that is a calling in your life. And I've learned that I need to be more positive and speak life into things and not, negative or death into things. So the next thing we're going to talk about is doing everything to watch your goals play out. So number one, that is faith without works is dead. So basically what I mean by that is you can have all the faith in something, but if you don't put work behind it, then how is it going to manifest? How is it going to come into being? And that's what I was talking about. Goals can't manifest in your head if you don't write them out, and if you don't put a plan of action into place, then how are these goals, or how are they going to manifest? How are they going to come into being? How are you going to accomplish what you need to accomplish if you don't write it out and do everything in your power to watch it play out? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is not setting goals and not acting on them. So when you set goals, you can't just be like, okay, God, this is what I want you to do. This is it right here. Because he'll give you the idea, but you have to put the work behind it. You can't just set the goal and be like, this is it, I'm just going to sleep on it. You actually have to put work into what it is you're trying to accomplish. So say, for instance, what I was trying to do, increase my following and things like that. So I set the goal and I did what I need to do. I upped my posts, I upped my interactions with other followers. I started interacting with my followers more, and I got the results that I wanted because I put the work in behind the goal that I set. And if you guys feel like you are lost in what exactly it is that you're trying to do, you need to pray about it. Ask God what he wants you to do. He will always reveal to you what you need to do or what it is, because I did. He revealed to me what I needed to do, and I did that, and I got the outcome of what I wanted. So, now I'm just so that you guys don't think that I'm talking about like whatever and I haven't done it or haven't really acted on it, because I feel like you can't necessarily give people advice about things if you haven't went through them or experienced them. So I'm just gonna share a little bit of my story and like where I was earlier this month, or like the middle of the month. So since I've been on Instagram, the natural hair thing has been like what I wanted to do, but I've been like really scared to step out on it. So in the middle of February, I started seeing posts about companies looking for brand ambassadors, and this one company in particular, I missed the deadline. So I was like, oh my God, if it's meant for me to have it, like if God wants me to have it, I'll get it. I'm still gonna apply and just like see, because I feel like you still have to step out on faith. Like you can't just like, cause sometimes people do, or like say for instance, you apply for a job or something and the application is closed. Like some people have applied and still get their job just because they fit the criteria, or it's just whatever they're supposed to, it's whatever they're supposed to be doing for that moment. So I'm like, okay, if it's meant for me to have, it happened. So I did not get it. I was like, oh my gosh, like what else am I gonna do? Like, I don't know. So then I found out Eden Body Works the next week was looking for brand ambassadors, and I was like one of the first people to put my video application out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared, I might not get it. Like, I don't know, I just was like so discouraged because of the previous experience that I had. But as you guys see, I ended up getting it anyway. And the next thing from that was, okay, so now my brand is starting to take off, and I looked into like my follower count and my interactions and things like that, like my analytics for the week. And I noticed like I've been hashtagging, but only 2 to 10 people have been seeing my hashtags. Like my hashtag viewer count was like so low, and I was like, what the heck? Like I'm putting these hashtags on here for no reason. So then I started researching more, reading more things, and I just was like, okay, this isn't working. I've tried the things that I've read, so I just prayed about it and was like, what do I need to do? What do I need to fix? And God was like, you need to just fix your hashtags. put them around you and what you are and who you are. So I'm like, okay. So I set my goals and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take my hashtag count up. I want to take it from, 2 to 10 followers to 100 to now 400. So I set those goals. I tried out some hashtags and the number changed. So now my hashtag views, or my views from hashtags, are like 400 to 500 now, after I set my goal, worked around some things and seen what worked for me and also prayed about it. And now I'm like minimum 400 people are viewing my page from hashtags. And this isn't to gloat or anything like that, but it's just I feel proud about the many goals that I set for myself. And it's like, yeah, it's not a big game, but any game is a game, and to me that's a big game. So then I set the goal for myself. I was like, I want to take my page from 100 profile views or clicks or whatever to 300. So I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? So then I'm like rigorously posting things, having my followers interact, and then also increasing my hashtag views, increase my profile views. Didn't even know this at the time. So then in 2 days I reached my goal of 300 profile views, and now the next week I'm at 400, and that was the next goal that I set for myself. So I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So now more people are viewing my profile, and I wanted to increase my impressions from 10,000 to 20. I did that in 3 days. And it's just like, realistically, I'm not saying this, like I said before, to gloat or anything, but I feel like you can't talk about something until you've actually experienced it or been through it, or experience something similar to it. And I feel like as long as you guys set your goals and you go through with them, you speak life into them, and you put works behind your faith, then everything comes out like how it's supposed to be. So this concludes our first woman talk. Tune in next Friday, and I'm probably gonna ask you guys like what you want to talk about, because I actually have a couple ideas. But yeah, look out for the poll that's gonna be coming out on Instagram, and just answer what you want to talk about for next week.